Ryan Mason's first game as caretaker. Our reporter Michael Bridge is at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for Spurs against Manchester United this evening. Hi to you again, Michael. So Spurs' top four hopes could be all but gone with defeats tonight after a difficult few weeks. What sort of atmosphere are we expecting where you are?
Yeah, I think Tottenham's Champions League hopes, David, are pretty much all but over. Antonio Conte left Tottenham Hotspur in the top four, but after he left, poor results under Christian Stellini, especially that embarrassing 6-1 defeat at Newcastle leaves Tottenham in 7th. They might not have any European football at all. It is so miserable here at the moment, this weather. It's absolutely awful. It's a bit like the season, really. Chris Cowlin here for Spurs YouTubers with me. Chris, miserable weather, miserable season.
It has been a miserable season, and of course Sunday was another miserable day. To be 1-0 down after 61 seconds and then to be 5-0 down after 21 minutes was simply unacceptable. The players have refunded the fans, and rightly so, but we want to see a performance here this evening.
You went to the game, didn't you? What was it like? 5-0 down, 20 minutes gone?
People went out the stadium after 9 minutes at 3-0. A lot of people left after 21 minutes. It was an embarrassment. That is the only word I can use, embarrassment.
Ryan Mason in temporary charge. He wants the job. If he doesn't get it, Julian Nagelsmann is being talked about. Ralph Rangnick speaking about him and potentially coming to Tottenham Hotspur next season. Is that the manager you'd like here?
Nagelsmann, I think, would be a great appointment here, but of course he is another manager coming in, if he came here, that wants to win now. So he has to be given the tools. We have to do things differently as a club to what we've done before. We've gone from Pochettino to Jose Mourinho to Antonio Conte, 3 great managers. They've not been successful here. We have to do things differently as a club. Daniel Levy, in my opinion, is under a lot of pressure here at the club. There are protests being put together week in, week out, and the fans at the moment are singing more about Daniel Levy than, you know, glory, glory, Tottenham Hotspur, what we want to hear. We need to do more on the pitch.
Right, so if it's not Nagelsmann, it doesn't look like it's going to be Mauricio Pochettino either. That's someone who you wanted. Talks that he could potentially be joining Chelsea. That's heartbreaking for you, isn't it?
It is heartbreaking for a lot of Spurs fans, because the last couple of home games against Brighton and against Bournemouth, most of the stadium was singing Pochettino's name. People would love to see him return to make this club successful again. Of course, you've got to remember, he took us to a Champions League final, didn't spend a penny in 518 days. I think a lot of people felt that he is the man to come back, reunite the fans and get the club going again and give us that excitement. But if we see him in a Chelsea badge, that is gutting.
I mean, he said he'd never join Arsenal. I remember I was in that presser when he said that a few years ago. But Spurs and Chelsea is a huge rivalry. It's a fierce rivalry. I mean, that's going to hurt so many Spurs fans. What would it be, the atmosphere be like if Spurs played Chelsea next season and Pochettino was in charge?
Well, we certainly won't be singing his name, and I don't think any Spurs fan will ever want Pochettino back after managing Chelsea. But in my personal opinion, and being honest, I think he will make that club successful again, and I think that's another hurtful thing for us.
Ahead of tonight, tough game for Spurs, Manchester United. In the centre of midfield is someone I don't think Spurs have replaced yet, Christian Eriksen. Could be a tough night for Mason and Spurs.
Another decision, poor decision in my eyes. Eriksen should have come back here. He's got them ticking again. Of course, Manchester United have won a trophy already this season. They're sitting in the top 4. They're in the FA Cup final. That is progression. This is exactly what we want to be seeing at our football club. We're now down to 7th in the Premier League table in a Europa Conference League spot. Tonight is going to be very, very difficult, and of course we've got Liverpool on Sunday as well. This could be a real miserable week, but these players have to turn up and give us something tonight.
Do you want European football, Chris? If there's no Champions League, that looks really, really unlikely now, but is it best for Spurs to have a year out of Europe?
I think the players will want European football. I think the club will want European football. I spoke to a lot of Spurs fans on my podcast, and a lot of them believe that a year out of Europe may do Spurs a favour and finish 8th. But European football is very important to the football club.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, finally, prediction for tonight?
1-1.
1-1. Sitting on the
Hoping for a win. Hoping for a win.
Well, Ryan Mason will hope for a win as well, because he has said to us that he would like the job on a full-time basis, but a really tough first few games. Stay with us throughout the afternoon on Sky Sports News as we build up to a huge match between Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester United.
Michael, thank you very much indeed.